Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Well, happy Monday, and for the first time in I want to say half a year, I actually begin a Monday feeling like I'm running and not feeling like, oh my God, another week ahead of me. And I know why I've been feeling this way. I took a break from making bismuth art, and you guys saw earlier this weekend I went to the Desert Botanical Garden, recorded a couple live streams there. I thought about asking a girl out on a date, but decided that I needed to know her a little bit more first. But it was okay. I had a good conversation with her, and all the rest, right? And also this past week, I finally made 100% recovery from long COVID. I've already started to recover, but this week was when when finally my appetite returned to normal. Now, I'll let you pause the video to think about why your appetite returning to normal might be not the holy grail that you're waiting for. There are a few drawbacks. Well, I teach at a community college. I'm in my office right now, and for several weeks I didn't have to think about meal breaks. To give you an idea, I have two-hour classes every week, and I also have grading that needs to be done. Sometimes I have to meet with the students. I had a couple of students who had family emergencies, and I helped them make up their work and all that. And I could schedule stuff back to back to back to back, sometimes multiple hours in a row. And then I was making bismuth art, right? I'd get home and forget dinner. I got an art idea I got to try out, right? And also I started working with a few other metals too. Bismuth might be okay. Some of those metals you definitely don't want to be eating anywhere near. Antimony, tellurium, indium. You definitely don't want that stuff anywhere near your food, right? And to a lesser extent, zinc as well. And so I didn't have to think about that. I could teach. I could help my students. I could grade stuff. I could make bismuth art. Sometimes I went online and looked for other gigs to do. Some of these gigs required some punctuality, right? So, for example, some of the kids that I'm tutoring, I go to their home. I could be 5 minutes early or late, and it doesn't bother the family. Other times, some people really have tight schedules. It really sucks when you have to be very punctual, because it forces you to keep an eye on the clock, right? You can't start cooking a dinner that might take an indeterminate amount of time to cook and eat and clean up, right? In the time around that. I didn't have to think about that. All of a sudden, my appetite returns to normal, and it feels like I just inherited a giant liability, right? Well, it's a financial liability for one. It's also a liability of time, of energy, of commitment. And I kind of felt depressed when my appetite returned to normal. And also at the same time, I was kind of making up for lost time with all the stuff that I hadn't been enjoying. It was a weird feeling. It wasn't 100% positive, let's put it that way. It was a mix of sudden change and enjoyment, but at the same time, oh, my liability. When I had the loss of appetite, I had a lot of time on my hands. I had a lot of pocket money to spend on all sorts of crap, including traveling to these board game meetings. Gas is not cheap here. You go to those board games, it costs some money, right? And among other things, right? And also among other hobbies that I did a lot. And then I was literally melting my money, right? Zinc pennies, right? And I could still afford that, but now it's a little bit more painful now that now that I have to eat again, right? It's kind of weird. But at the same time, now that I took a break from making the art, for the first time in many, many months, Monday morning feels like, the brand new week to write a new chapter in my life.